All right, so I'm going to call this out from the get-go because I know there are going to be folks in the comments talking about how I'm hyping this team up to the extreme and getting way too excited when they played a completely depleted Brooklyn Nets team. So yes, let's be real for a second. This is a game the Bulls absolutely should have won. The Nets were without half of their roster, including some of their key starters in Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. Ben Simmons was out, Bogdanovich was out, Noah Clowney out. I joked right before the game when the Nets injury report was first announced that the Nets are doing their best to reverse course and get back on track in the tanking for flag sweepstakes, which they have since failed to do in the early going of the season, having won more games than was expected of them. So yes, anything less than a blowout win for the Bulls would have been unacceptable. A loss against a G League roster at home would have been embarrassing. And yes, I realize it's easy for some of these guys to look great and have nice games when you're going up against a team like that. That said, though, it's not going to stop me from getting excited based on how some of these guys showed up tonight, most notably guys like Buzelis, who had his best game of the season and took advantage of the Bulls also being shorthanded without Patrick Williams and Coby White. And then, of course, a great game from Josh Giddey, also his best game of the season and getting his first triple-double in a Bulls uniform. I'm jealous for those who were in attendance at tonight's game and had the opportunity to watch this one live. Let me know in the comments for anyone who was actually at this one. Speaking of attending games live, I do have to say there is nothing quite like going to a basketball game or any sporting event for that matter, live and in person. There's just something about the atmosphere, the smell of the popcorn, seeing the stars on the court up close and personal. But sometimes buying tickets to a game and the experience of securing your seat is not the best. Ticket prices in general are insane. Are you getting a good deal? Are you not getting a good deal? Are the tickets even legitimate? Well, you can take that guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase to ensure that your tickets are real and that you're getting the best price. Game Time only shows you the best value on tickets and have last minute deals right up to the start of the event. You guys know I live in the Bay Area. I always go see the Bulls play when they come play the Warriors, and Warriors tickets are not cheap, thanks Steph Curry, but last season I used the Game Time app to purchase my tickets literally an hour before tip-off, where I got an incredible deal just sitting 5 rows behind the Bulls bench. It was amazing. I got to hear the players talking to each other, yelling at the refs, and of course, it also helped that the Bulls ended up winning that game. And right now, Game Time is offering viewers of this channel $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BullsCentral. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code BullsCentral for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? You know what time it is. Game time. Now, I have to say, in the Bulls' last game against the Celtics, which was a great game and how well they hung in there with the champs and made it an exciting back-and-forth matchup, I talked about all the things I liked seeing in that game. But what I really didn't like, even though, yes, I know it was a cup game and the Bulls were doing everything they could to try and win their group stage, but seeing Buzelis only get 5 minutes in a game where they didn't have Patrick Williams, and even in those limited minutes, he actually played decently well. He had a nice drive and transition, taking it to the hoop against a strong Celtics defense. Seeing him only get 5 minutes upset me. And when I saw Julian Phillips, who was going to be getting the start tonight with Coby White not being available, I was a little annoyed. Not that I don't like seeing Julian getting some run, because the Bulls need to prioritize his development as well, but Modest does need to be made the priority. Like, if there was any player on this roster that you should be focusing on more and getting more reps and getting better development, it's Buzelis. But when Modest came into the game and started knocking down threes, was hustling on defense, crashing the boards, Billy knew that Modest had earned himself some minutes and opted to give him more playing time over Julian Phillips for the rest of the game, who just wasn't as impactful in the starting lineup. In fact, in that first quarter, it looked like the Bulls were going to mess around and wind up losing this game with that lackluster effort. But Buzelis came in, provided some energy, and set the tone off the bench, was feeling it from three, was getting downhill in transition, was creating for himself with the ball, but also making the right plays, making smarter plays than what we saw from him at the start of the season. His first 20-point game, career high, 20 points on 7 for 10 shooting, 4 for 5 from 3. Who said he can't shoot threes, by the way? 5 rebounds and 2 blocks, and a plus 17 when he was on the court. I'm going to keep saying it. I need more Modest minutes. If Kobe's out of the next game against the Spurs, I need to see Modest in the starting lineup over Julian Phillips, assuming Patrick Williams is also still out as well, who we did get a report that he's progressing well and even participated in shoot-around today. Now, Josh Giddey wasn't the best night for him shooting-wise, went 1 for 8 from 3, not sure why he took so many threes in this game, but I guess when you're open as often as he is, I guess you got to take him. But what I like seeing from Giddey more so tonight when it came to his scoring, was his aggression in getting to the basket and not turning it over as frequently as he does when he's driving to the lane, and actually finishing at the rim. And we've been talking about how Giddey's percentages from within 3 feet of the basket have been pretty concerning, especially when he can't shoot the ball as it is from further out. But tonight, he actually had some great finishes at the hoop and drawing contact while doing so. He also finished the game with 20 points, which I believe is a season high or tied a season high, 9 for 17 from the field overall, but also 13 points and 11 assists, leading the Bulls in both of those categories tonight for the team. I was kind of waiting for Giddey to get that first triple-double of the year. Was actually surprised that it took this long in game 22 of the season, but hey, better late than never. He also had a steal and a block in this game. 5 turnovers though. He still just has these silly turnovers where it's either a bad pass or he dribbles it in traffic and loses the ball. But the Bulls also had 19 turnovers overall, which is not good. It's a good thing they played the depleted Nets, so it ended up not really mattering in the end. Aside from that, great games from the Bulls starters in this one. Vucevic, like I half kid, but also kind of serious, is he now the best three-point shooting center in the league? The only other center shooting the three ball as well as he is right now is Nikola Jokic. Like, what the hell is going on? This man shot 29% from 3 last season. We were screaming for him to stop shooting threes. Dude must have worked with Peter Patton all offseason long. Went 3 for 5 from deep tonight, 8 for 11 overall from the field, 21 points and 10 rebounds, easy double-double as always, and was a plus 29 for himself on the game. Just insane, the kind of season that he's been having, and I get more and more optimistic that the Bulls are going to get something for Vucevic by the trade deadline, despite having a non-existent market for him over the offseason. Zach LaVine, another solid effort from him tonight. Zach was playing defense. Zach was showing off some of those defensive skills, getting in guys' faces and preventing them from penetrating to the basket. Where has that been? But then also 18 points on 7 for 13 shooting, 4 assists, and a plus 25. Ayo as well, great game. Didn't shoot the ball especially well from 3, which he continues to struggle with this season, but was great at getting downhill and finishing at the basket like we're used to seeing. 16 points, 7 for 13, 6 assists, and a plus 24 in this game. Also great contributions from the Bulls bench. Jalen Smith, Lonzo Ball, who only played 13 minutes even though he was cleared to play more. But why have him play so many minutes when this game was over with in the early going of the fourth quarter? And then of course, THD, who still manages to find ways to put up double figures no matter how many minutes he ends up getting. A great game, a fun game, yes, against a bad team, but still fun nonetheless. The test comes later this week on Thursday when the Bulls see Wembanyama and the Spurs this season for the first time in San Antonio, who have been off to a better than expected start to the year. The Spurs are already ahead of schedule in their rebuild, and Wemby is going to be scary. This is going to be a good test for Modest Buzelis to get some starting minutes in a game like this, right? We'll see if the Bulls actually go that route, though. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.